So because I don't plan on having kids, people often ask me, well, who's going to care for you when you're older, Julia? I think it's pretty obvious. I'll just take the $17,000 a year it costs to raise a child from birth to 18, and then also the estimated 25 to 100K it costs to send them to college, invest that money for decades, have a pile of cash, and then go to the nicest retirement community that exists. Or I will attract a young lover who is only with me for my money, who inevitably murders me so they can inherit all my wealth. Which is fine too.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? It is significantly more expensive to be single, to the point that it's like economically irresponsible to cook when you're single. It costs $75 to make a meal, not to mention the cost of running the dishwasher, washing up all of the pots and pans. And then what am I gonna do? Eat lasagna for 6 days? When I could use Uber Eats and one of their various codes each week to get a salad for $9. Imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single. Just imagine if there were no more single people. The food and beverage industry would just collapse.
So I'm single and childless. Yesterday at work, somebody was talking about dating, and I was just like, yeah, I gave up on that one time ago. And then somebody else was like, Rachel, this whole time I thought you were married with kids. She said, I don't know, you just act so grown up. And I took that as a compliment. I was like, who, me? Act grown up? But then I thought, I am 39, so I probably should. But here's the thing, I say gave up, but that's kind of not really true. For me, it's just not my main goal. It's not my priority at this point in my life. I think when we age, just our priorities shift. And I think when I realized that I don't have to have a spouse or I don't have to have kids to have a happy life, I was able to shift my perspective. And I'm like, my life's pretty good as it is. I don't want to spend X amount of days that I have left in this life worried or stressed about finding a spouse. If it happens, it happens. Great. If it doesn't, I'm still going to live a great life. Travel, spend time with my family, my friends, prioritize my health, and act like a grown-up.
Literally, I'm 26 and single is the best time to be alive, especially mid-20s, because I always talk to my coworkers and they're always telling me how lucky I am to be single, to enjoy life and all those things, because they're older. They're always complaining about their kids or how they had kids too young and they wish they chose a different partner and things like that. So being single or newly single in your early 30s or 20s or even any time with no kids is top tier, because you can date, you can be picky, you can set boundaries on who you're saying yes to. So if one person doesn't meet your standards, you can literally choose someone else so quickly, because at this point in age, most people are independent and have their own car, their own place, and no one can take that away from you. If you aren't in this situation, I promise it'll get better, and there's always a positive to any person's life. But I'm shining the light on the girls that are in their late to mid-20s, doing their thing, single, dating, and leveling up. Leveling up your mind, leveling up your wardrobe, and even mentality, and also how you speak. Nonetheless, make sure you enjoy life, because I talk to so many women every single day working at a clinic, working with 20 plus women every day, and all these patients that I talk to, and they always ask me, hey, are you single? Are you married? Do you have a boyfriend? Blah, blah, blah. And I always tell them no, and they're so happy for me. They're so happy for me.
So I am 33 years old and I am single. I have no children. My friend was over today. She's 32 years old, same, single, no children. We were talking about life. We did our vision boards, and we were just thinking and reflecting on where life has taken us and why some things didn't work out. And if I could go back in time and tell younger me something, it'd be todo pasa por una razón. Everything happens for a reason. And everything makes sense now that there was breakups that happened. There was jobs that didn't work out. There was houses that didn't work out. And now I find myself in this peaceful time in my life where I am so grateful to be here today, and just everything that I have, like everything just makes sense now. And we were both reflecting on what is the point of life. We were talking about like wills. I know it got really dark, okay? Okay, not dark, but deep conversations. We were talking about the meaning of life and what is the meaning of life. Because sometimes I catch myself saying like, what's the point of going to this 8 to 5 and what's the point of doing this? But thankfully, I found my passion, which is podcasting, and I feel like it gives me something to keep me busy, and it keeps me inspired, and it keeps me motivated. But for a long time, I didn't have that, and I went through a lot of stuff throughout my 20s, and finally I have peace at 33. It took a while, but I got here, and I'm so proud of myself for getting here. But one thing that I need to work on this year is getting outside and making more joyful moments and just connecting with people, because I feel like the pandemic took a lot of time away from us. If I could get back my 3 years from the pandemic, I would, to be 30 again, because I feel like there's a lot that I missed out on. But what I'm trying to say is that life is short and we have to find those joyous moments. Like, what gives you joy? Because you never know if tomorrow is your last day. And I just wanted to share that because it really opened up my eyes. Like, we were talking, I'm like, oh my God, I need to get outside. Because this year I've spent a lot of time being a little antisocial queen at home. Yes, I know, even though I have the podcast, like, I spend a lot of time at home because I'm always working on the podcast. And when I'm not working on the podcast, I'm at my 8 to 5. So this year I'm going to make it a priority to have some human connection. I do I know it sounds terrible. It sounds like I don't go outside. I do, but I need to do it more because I'm getting a little too comfortable being home. And if I want to think, like, let's say like I'm about to die and my life is flashing before my eyes, I don't want it just to be me sitting on the couch on my laptop watching 90 Day Fiance or any reality TV show, because I'm a reality TV show junkie. I want it to be like events or like connections with people. So anyways, if you have forgot that life is short, this is your reminder that life is short. So go do what you want and meet some people.
I'm 37 years old and I am child-free and still single, like really single. And nothing is more like annoying than people feeling sorry for you. It's always when they initially find out like my age and like my like status, or like, oh my God, you're 37 and you're single and you're child-free. And it's like this immediate like, oh. Interesting enough, it always comes from people who are younger than me, who are also single and who are also child-free. It like usually never happens like with people who are like married and who have children, because the people who are married and who have children are like, girl, stay single and stay child-free for as long as you can. Or they'll say like, are you sure you want to have kids? But one of the things that I've come to realize is the people who feel sorry for me are usually the people who feel sorry for themselves, because they're not married and they also don't have children, and they also have a fear that they'll be exactly like me, which I get, because like, look at me, I'm cute as fuck. Like, do I want to have married and have like kids one day? Sure. But if it's like not in the plan right now, it's not in the plan right now, because quite honestly, if I want to settle, I could have settled a long time ago. Ain't nobody tripping but you about my life. Look how cute that is. Like, the more comfortable you are with the idea of like being single and without having kids, the less pressure there is, y'all. I mean, let's just have a fucking good time. If it happens, it happens, but I am completely fine on my own. Anyway, have a good Saturday. Bye.
You cannot convince me that men trying to tell women that single is scary is not sadistic, because they know that women are happier when they're single. I am a 29-year-old woman who does not have to go home to children on a Friday night. Instead, I get to go out to dinner with my best friend wearing a cute outfit, knowing that I don't have a straight man with their dogs out next to me in the ugliest outfit I've ever seen. I get to go on a walk, I get to listen to some throwbacks, and I get to come home and I get to watch Love Island, play with my cats, feed my cats, wash my face, do my skincare routine, and really soak in the idea that I only have to take care of me. I am free to do whatever I want. This idea that men think that, oh, you're gonna be so miserable when you're alone. Baby, I'm not lonely. Trust me, I got friends on speed dial. I live with my bestie. Things are golden in my world. I do not have to care for a nasty man-child. And I wake up every single day, and in moments like this, I am so excited not to have children because I get to have this type of freedom for the rest of my life.